From 1, I can then connect to 4 because there is a connection from 1 to 4. So the uh, path that I traverse would be 3, 1, and 4. So in cases of these sort of traversal problems, or maybe in case of coloring problems where we have coloring issues, let's say I'm coloring one as, let's say red, I'm coloring two as yellow, and I'm coloring four as green, and I'm coloring three as blue. So I need to color these things. Now, how would I represent these sort of a data structure in my memory where I only have access to arrays, matrices, linked lists, right? So how would I represent these things such that I can figure out the solution to this coloring problem or a node traversal problem? Each row is a node, columns are edges. Perfect. So I have an example here. So what Parvez says is each row is a node and columns are edges. So let's start with that. So we can have, let's say the first node, I have node 1, and we know that every column is an edge. So we know that it is connected to 2. So we have 2. The next one that it is connected to is 3. So we have 3. And the next one that we have is 4. So 1 is connected to 2, 3, and 4. The next one that we have is node number 2. Now, node number 2 is connected to 1 and 4. Right? We have 1 and 4. Node number 3. Node number 3 is only connected to 1. So we just have 1 here. Node number 4. Node number 4 is connected to both 1 and 2. So we have 1, 2. Right. So this is an this is a data structure that we can use to represent our graphs. Does everyone agree with Parvez that this is a possible way of representing our graph? Type in yes or no. Perfect. So what type of data structure is this? Everyone, I think, has taken data structures classes and programming classes. So you should know, how would I represent something like this? Is it an array of something? Aman and Taha, let's come back. Let's not talk about dictionaries. Let's just talk about C++ things. Let's just talk about the basic data structures that we have. So Aman and Taha, do you agree that, yes, I do agree that this is a dictionary, but do you also agree that this is an array of lists, as Vamsi and, oh, Aman, not Vamsi and Brian says? Do you agree that this could be an array of linked lists, where I have the first array element as 1, where we have a pointer to 2, where this points to 3 and this points to the next element 4. For number 2, we have the next element as 1, and then we have 4. For number 3, we just have 1, and for number 4, we just have 1 and then 2. And for those of you who are answering, so for Aman and Eric, I'm going to come back to 2D arrays in a second. But this is not a 2D array, right? Taha and Aman, do you agree that this is not a 2D array, right? This is sort of an array of linked lists, where the array size is the size of my vertex size. So the number of vertices is the size of my array, and every vertex basically points to a list, where the list is basically the set of nodes that it is adjacent to. Does this architecture make sense? And do you understand how we can represent this graph as an array of linked lists in a C++ program? Type in yes or no. Can you represent this in a C++ program like an array of linked lists? There are 40 students. I want 40 answers. So don't type in yes, type in no if you do not understand yet. Everyone understands? Very nice. Could you represent this as a hash table with multiple hashes to the same node for each edge? Yes, so Brian is, so we can represent this as a hash. We can also represent this as a dictionary. But imagine those data structures to be, how do I say this? When I am trying to find out the complexity of an algorithm, I will never consider a dictionary or a hash algorithm or a hash table, right? Because those are uh, basically extraneous data structures that we need to have extra software to make them work. So for a hash table, I need to figure out if there are no clashes. For a dictionary, I need to figure out that there are no clashes and there is an ordering between them. So in general terms, we are always going to think about representing these sort of data structures in either in an array or a matrix or a cube or whatever, or sort of in a linked list way. Do we really need an array of lists be sufficient? We're only discussing about undirected. Yes, Vamsi, we need an array of linked lists. So what do you mean by an array of lists? Before I come to your question, Brian, does that sort of answer your question? Why we are not looking into hash tables and dictionaries? Perfect. So Vamsi, could you expand on your question a bit? I think that both of those just say array of linked lists. Or are you talking about lists in some other language? Vamsi? Oh, okay. So lists in Python are again, okay, so whenever you're talking about something in this particular class, think of it as in writing in C++ or Java. Now, there is a reason for me saying this, and you guys are allowed to ask me why I'm saying this. That is fine. Lists in Python. So, first things first, Vamsi, do you agree that Python is a managed programming language and an interpreted programming language? Yes or no? And do you know what those mean? You can type in no. Okay. So, see. So when we write a C++ program, when we compile that particular program, we have this particular exe file in case of Windows. Exactly, Eric, you are right. Python is interpreted. So Vamsi, note this carefully. When we run a particular program, we have this sort of an exe file. So I basically have this particular program, not for your class, but some other class, but we have this particular C++ program. And when I compile it, I have this particular exe file. So let's just remove this exe file for now, and I'll rerun this particular program. It is linking, it is doing blah, blah, blah stuff, don't care, but it generates this exe file. What this exe file means is that I can run this exe file irrespective of any other programming language. So it essentially, I just have a scene number so that it stops once I run this. And when I run this particular program without any interpreter, it is able to run inherently in the Windows system, right? Okay, so that is what we mean when we say that C++ is not a managed language. It can run directly on your processor. Kathy, switch. Kelly, am I okay? Am I switching to Kathy or am I switching to Kelly? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so, but when we run Java programs or Python programs, we usually run it as Python blah 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 program.py, or if we are running Java programs, we run Java space program dot Java, not exactly, but essentially this thing. Or if we are running MATLAB programs, we run MATLAB space some program dot m, right? So in these particular programs, we have basically some sort of an interpreter that runs this particular program. But if we want to run our C++ program, and this is a weird tangent, but I'm going to come back to your particular question in a second. Give me one sec. So when we want to run a C++ program, we just directly run the executable file and that runs it, right? So a managed program is essentially a program that manages the memory, the size of your arrays, pointers, and things like that. But it also basically interprets your lines one by one. So in that particular scenario, when we have, so Vamsi, so when we have lists there, it essentially means that underlying in Python, there is a function written in C++ or Java or whatever that basically maintains a linked list. However, we defined a linked list in C++, so we basically represent a linked list, and that is when you type in a list, essentially that is the thing that Python is doing under the hood. That is the same thing being done by Java. That is the same thing being done by MATLAB. And those are the managed languages that handle lists in such way where there is an underlying programming language, a very raw programming language such as C++ or Java that take care of those sort of things. So let me make it a bit more clearer. How many of you have programmed in MATLAB? Type in yes or no. Let me re-emphasize that question. Wait, stop answering. How many of you have coded in Python or MATLAB? Right. So when you when you want to execute a particular program in MATLAB or in Python, we are trying to do this in a command line. So what do we do? And I'm sure most of you have not tried to do this in a command line environment. But if we want to execute a particular Python program, we type in Python and then we type in program.py. So does anyone have any experience about executing a program in the terminal? Not just some IDE where we have a play button, but we do have to execute something in the terminal, right? So so do you guys agree that when we execute something in Python, we say Python space program.py, or if we want to execute something in MATLAB, we say MATLAB space program.m? Right? So in that particular scenario, what am I trying to do? So when I say MATLAB space program.m or Python space program.py, do you guys agree? Yes, we are running the program, but wait. Do you guys agree that Python is the program that we are running and we are passing program.py as our parameter, as the first parameter that we are passing to this particular program?